Sorry?
Should Greg Fergus stay on as Speaker?
He should resign.
How come?
Mr. Perkins, what happens today in question period?
Questions?
Yeah, what
No answers.
Should Mr. Fergus resign? And why?
He should have resigned after he lost the confidence vote of the two real opposition parties, the Bloc and the NDP, and us, where the NDP is in a coalition with the government. Several months ago, he lost the confidence of the opposition then. He certainly lost it yesterday.
Will you do something? Will you do something to try and make that happen? Oust him?
Well, I guess that'll be up to our House Leader as to what we do.
Mr. Cooper, how are the Conservatives going to work in the House today and just after saying the Speaker is biased?
Should resign. He's a disgrace.
Will you move to make that happen?
Mr. what do you make of the Addictions Minister saying she needs more information from BC before it kind of decides on its request when it comes to decriminalization?
I will talk about that. All she has to do is come to Abbotsford Soccer Association with me. On the front page of the Abbotsford News, the volunteers decried the situation that they have to go, and this is where my kids play too. My kids are members of the Abbotsford Soccer Association. They have to sweep the fields every time they play because kids are at risk of exposure. A week after decriminalization came into effect last year, and it wasn't applied to schools. My son's school had an incident, and they had to bring in special cleaners because of the possibility of my child and many others being exposed to fentanyl on a school ground. This is out of control. You talk to any British Columbian, and they can't take much more. When I grew up in Abbotsford, there were very few homeless people. And every year, the number of people that suffer with addiction is growing. And the number of people that are dying is growing. The RCMP in British Columbia had been very clear that the Safe Supply program implemented by our Prime Minister has led to the trafficking of those opioids to, in some cases, underage children. Governments are supposed to be in the business of protecting kids. And right now, the opposite is happening. It is so bad. I have, my office is near Meridian Meat Market. Brown's Chicken, which if you haven't had it, it's famous in BC. It's phenomenal. The Legion. The Legion, our veterans every day have to tell addicts not to shoot up on their property. Every day, members of the Legion in my riding have to clean up dirty needles and have to tell people to stop consuming dangerous drugs like fentanyl, crack cocaine, and meth on their property. It is out of control. Decriminalization is a failed experiment. It needs to stop now. British Columbians have had enough. And that is why David Eby, because he has an election coming, has said, oh crap, I am going to lose if I continue with this radical and ideologically extreme policy that is putting the risk of every kid and every community in our province, putting them at risk. It is insane what we have done in BC. We need to have treatment options. Yes, that is going to cost money, and I don't know how much if you're going to follow up with that question, but the status quo and what we're doing right now, it is failing our province and it is failing our nation.
What do you make of the minister saying she needs a little bit more information from BC? And
She's never spent any time in British Columbia. One token trip isn't going to teach you what's taking place. She needs to do what Pierre Poilievre is doing and go and meet with the people, go to every community like he's doing every month and hear from British Columbians who've had enough. That is what she needs to do. She's not doing that. She is out of touch with the issues of British Columbia. She just doesn't know, and that's why they're entertaining that stupid policy being implemented in Toronto. That's on her watch too. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you, guys.